Order submitted. Order canceled.
All right, about 30 seconds till the market opens. Ten seconds. All right, market is open.
Order filled. Stop filled.
Then quick stop out there. Looks like we're kind of just chopping around here. not the best market open so far. I think eventually it will go up. It's kind of just a matter of time. Trying to push again. Trying to get through those EMAs here. All right, there's the push through. Might make the move up now. Snack it. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it.
Order filled.
Try long here off these EMAs. Got a nice rejection there. And if we break these highs, we should have some room up to some of these highs over here. Dang, big sell off.
Filled.
I guess we're just gonna jump around maybe.
Order submitted. Order filled.
All right, there we go. Little bull flag there. There's the move we were kind of trying to make earlier. I'd like to think we make it kind of up to those highs. Hopefully we don't just stall out. Nearly there, kind of missed it. A little bit more.
Target filled.
There we go. Great trade there. We got our 30 points on that one. That's what I'm kind of saying. This first entry wasn't the best, but I kind of was waiting for the candle to close. Do you read what I said in the chord? I took a look at it. I think you said to start the day normal unless it's choppy. Kind of figured out after this first move that was kind of choppy. But once we kind of were holding about the 5, I just decided to try along. I wasn't really planning on doing the scaling or anything. But then it just kind of was rejected straight down. But then we set up this bull flag, held the EMA, so I tried it one more time. Again, no advanced scaling, just went for like 30 points, kind of up towards some of these highs. And that worked pretty well, but... New mic? Kinda. I have had it for like a month now. But... I mean, yeah, it's new. I'm surprised no one noticed it earlier. Yeah, there's like a Black Friday deal on like a mic with like a little boom arm thing, so snagged it back in early December, or well, yeah, kind of Black Friday, December-ish. Oh, dang. The sellers are here. Don't know where they came from. I cooked this TPT. Oof. I don't know if I'd quite say that, but yeah, you could definitely say I think I've caught like very few winning trades. I've consistently taken like 2 or 3 losses with the EMA trades, and then I think I caught like one RSI trade yesterday that was good, and then there's, I mean, this trade for 120, that's pretty good. Oh, you cooked your own. Gotcha, gotcha. I was gonna say, yeah, also like I cooked it. I wouldn't blame you, even though like it was your strat, but obviously I made some mistakes along the way and everything, which is always part of the game. But it sounds like if you're kind of getting cooked as well, it's just not the most favorable market conditions. Which might just need like a couple days or weeks to get back to normal. Or maybe the strat is not as good as we thought. I don't know. This V though on the woman is kind of crazy. I mean, after this move up, like we had no reason to come all the way back down. We're still technically holding up at the EMAs, but this double top was kind of crazy. Never had to scale on pullbacks. Yeah. I'm definitely leaning towards just kind of not scaling anymore. Unless I start seeing a couple trades that like I could have scaled in and regretted not doing it, then maybe I'll consider. But again, even with like, obviously this trade wasn't the best. I waited for that candle to close because it was the first minute candle. And I thought we might make a move up on the second minute. But if I just took the entry kind of down here like I normally would have, wouldn't have got stopped out and could have just patiently waited for us to go up. Which would have been pretty solid. So we might be taking some of these lows out, trying to follow ES, I mean. Oh, yes, at the lows. Kind of wild. Below the 15-minute opening range. Low, and then yeah, NQ lagging behind just a little bit, but it looks like it is going to start going lower. I mean, I don't want to add more rules. Yeah, that's definitely how I like to see the market. Change and adapt a couple things, but adding more rules, making it more complicated, it's not my cup of tea. I think with chop second entries, scale and pullbacks, definitely could work. But yeah, I might need to kind of revert back to some of my previous trades, or, you know, keep the scaling kind of out of the way for now, just so I can focus on getting good entries and winning trades. But after maybe testing something like that, maybe it's something I would be happy to do on like a funded account. Definitely think we're going to drop through these lows here. Just don't have a good entry right now with this price. I guess we could kind of put like a stop above like the EMA, but we'll just let it do its thing, and then maybe we'll get another opportunity later. Getting below the 15 could definitely be like a good trade also. But yeah, if I do get in it, it might not be one worth scaling into.
Order filled.
We're gonna see if we do have some momentum. And if we do carry through here, we'll kind of target like our normal target with like the 15 EMA. But yeah, I kind of looks like we might just bounce right back off of it. We'll see though if we can carry through with a little bit of an overdue dump here. Yeah, probably not going to scale or worry about that too much. But we'll probably just get stopped out anyways.
Stop filled.
Yeah, I thought I kind of knew, like, just like looking at the EMAs, looking at price, kind of just watching, the reaction and what it does. Kind of thought I knew how to read that better. And either I just don't, or yeah, it's just... And like even this, like, it's like if we were looking for longs instead, right? We hold above it, we enter, scale in here somewhere. But look, we're top ticket again. It's going to come back down, and that silence was deafening. I think it disconnected for a little bit. But it might have been some well-timed silence as well. Yeah, I mean, get below the 15, we go straight back up. We get above the 5 and the 1, we come straight back down. Definitely a little bit of a range right now. It's coming up in 5 minutes as well. TBH second entry by the EMA went at 60 or 40. Yeah, it kind of makes sense. I mean, yeah, buying the 15, especially with the 40 right here, would have been pretty decent move here. Couple more minutes till news. Might just hop around and tell news if I had to guess. Asia was good. Nice. Yeah, I've kind of been keeping a little eye on just the market during, I think it's what, 6 to 8 p.m. my time, or 10 to 12 Eastern. Wait, no. 8 to 10. That's true. Is he talking about the Asia session or his Asian? 40 points. Nice. All right, a couple more minutes till news. Kind of just holding off until then. That's right, CPI day. Still looks like it wants to dump. But definitely kind of waiting for news here to really know what's going to happen. All right, 2 seconds to the news. The internet being a little inconsistent right now. I think it keeps disconnecting from a couple of different things. I think it's costing me to keep losing my viewers on TikTok. I'll disconnect and then it comes back live and all my viewers are gone except you two. So we're still a little bearish here, potentially. Still kind of seeing this range. Kind of have like a head and shoulders of sorts setting up. But if we can break through these lows, we should be dumping pretty hard. Kind of like ES's right now. There it is. There's the breakout. That's kind of what I was expecting on this one right here. But obviously got in a little early and just didn't have a wide enough stop. But this was the move we were kind of expecting. Definitely could be staying for long, but if we take out 885, we definitely could be going short. But if we kind of hold this gap that we've made earlier with the news, yeah, if we hold the gap, should be going back up. He dips out every now and then. Normally anyways. He might just like, if he's on his phone, maybe went to a different app or something. But he definitely might not be wrong. If we get back above the EMAs here, now that we filled the gap, we definitely could be trying to make the long here finally. Hey, you guys do got some beef. For a while, you guys were the two like that didn't have beef. Because you've got beef with most people. But for a while you didn't with him until a little more recently. Brandon ghosted you. Dang. Yeah, I haven't seen him since December, like we've talked about before. This bear flag is tempting, but I don't like the 5-minute candle. There's like a 30-point wick. No, 40. Yeah, there's like a 40-point wick in here on the 5-minute. This is Lucid. You talking about Bet or Brandon? I'm guessing Bet, because he's been promoting Lucid a lot, but yeah, I saw that conversation. And like I kind of see where he's coming from, but then also like I kind of see like you, it's like, well, if they kind of give you the option to kind of just take your payout, it's like you can lock in some profits and then yeah, you can like reinvest it into your own live account, which is better technically. Because yeah, like your live is always going to be better than prop firm live, especially if you like pay for better data and everything. But I don't know, he was saying something about taxes and like I don't quite understand like all the taxes behind it. He could be right about the taxes being better, but I don't know. Probably depends on what state you're in. At least like in my state, I'm pretty sure like it's pretty good for like capital gains tax compared to some other states. Maybe it's not, I don't know. I think it's pretty good. I think it's just taxed kind of like normal income. But there's ways also that you can like deduct certain things, like, you know, you can use your losses as like just like losses. I can't remember exactly, but at least with like prop firms, there were some things that I was looking into that were like kind of cool. It's like, oh, like you can use like your eval fees as like losses against your wins, your payouts or something like that. But yeah, I don't know all the specifics and I'm not a tax guy, so. It looks like this wants to kind of break out with this flag, but I'm not sure if I quite want the shorts here or not. Oh, there they go. He's using Lucid, so on live plus normal taxes, still 30%, 20% to Lucid, 15% for federal. I don't think it's on live though. Can I use Brandon as a tax write-off loss of 15%? Maybe. But yeah, when you include like giving 20% of your profits or 10% on other firms, like I think Funding Ticks is still only 10%. You still keep 90. But yeah, you give 10% here, then 15% here, and then yeah, more on other taxes and stuff. It's at the end of the day, you walk away with very little. I think people do forget about like that 10 to 20% that the prop firm expects. So yeah, that right there is almost a tax in of itself. Yeah, 20% is pretty hefty. 1K, that's like 800 take home. Save for taxes, it's like 500. Yeah, you're literally losing like almost half your profits. High level trading question: is momentum a scam? I don't feel like it's reliable for expansion moves. Definitely could be. Momentum could definitely be one of like the main manipulators in the market, because I feel like every trader wants to follow the momentum, whether they're like a technical momentum trader or not. I mean, who wants to take a trade? Like, let's say, I don't know, let's say your strategy like wants you to sell right here somewhere. Or, I mean, I guess that's not the best. But even like somewhere in here, let's say like there's this move up and then down and then you sell, right? You sell somewhere in here. You have to wait for all of this chop before this red candle comes. Right, I think that's kind of what I'm leaning towards as well. And I think that's like why it's like that EMA strat. The EMAs work, but the momentum kind of came in to bring people in to be like, hey, this is where the momentum is. So everyone starts to follow where the momentum is, and then the momentum changes and it goes somewhere else. And then you have all these traders left high and dry with no momentum, and then the trades stop working. The momentum kind of just shifts between different ideas. Manny, yes, welcome. Thank you for the follow. Bro tipped. Hey, well, at least he followed. Unless it was like an accidental follow. No, that actually makes a lot of sense. Because there's always, you know, the market manipulators, or whatever you want to call it, right? You have like trap trades, trap moves. Like this move up was a trap to the long side. But again, you see like this momentum up, and then momentum kind of like back down, and then probably trapped and messed up a lot of people. And we'll probably start to notice, like even the other day, we noticed that the momentum kind of like was almost with the RSI a little bit. You know, you'd hit like the 70 and chop around for a little bit, but then in between the moves or the EMAs, you'd see a lot of momentum. But like as soon as it got to like the EMAs, it would just chop around. But yeah, I'm sure we'll notice the momentum in different areas, and it's like, do we follow the momentum, or do we just learn how to trade around the momentum when it's not in our favor? EMA strat TP is consistent. Entry and chop becomes tricky. Yeah, I agree. Arguably, second entry is more consistent than first. Yeah, that's definitely not a bad way of looking at it, or even just looking at it like right now. Like I know today it's just one sample set. But if you just like wait for it to touch the EMA or get below it and then just go long, I mean, if you get stopped out by like the 20-23 points on NQ, chances are, you know, it's going down. It's obviously not a good long. But if it does hold up the EMA, you've got a really killer, like, bottom tick entry. And then you just wait for your, you know, 30 points or whatever based on, like, the ATR or the RSI. So, yeah, like, second entry maybe, but also even just, like, be a little bit aggressive with, like,
Order submitted.
you know, take a sell right there above the EMA. Obviously, that's going to change when price gets up there, but
Order canceled.
you kind of wait for it to get above it, kind of like the RSI 30, 60. You wait for it to kind of dip above it, and then you just mark it in, and you either get stopped out, or you have a really, really good entry for the rejection. Kind of like this. We didn't get above the 5, but we kind of dipped above the 15. And then, again, not the best momentum for, like, scaling in. You would have gone stopped out on this wick. You would have scaled in down here somewhere and then gone stopped out. But with 23 points, some of your stops up here somewhere, you got some room. We are getting below the 885, so it might be definitely looking good for some shorts here. Kind of headed for that overnight low coming up here soon. I think momentum is actually the outlier. Yeah, that's what I'm kind of seeing. It's like, yeah, it's this thing that everyone chases, thinking like, oh, I want to follow the momentum, but it is kind of this outlier that's not typical for trading, and it shouldn't be what your strategy is based around. Otherwise, you'll get cooked when the momentum's no longer there. EMA strat isn't technically Momo, it's actually a mean reversion strat. Yeah. Paper trade for like 2 days. Second entries, point TPs. I might do that. Might see how that goes. down here at the overnight low plus the 30 RSI. Could get a bounce here. Yeah, I'm kind of used to it just with some of my old strategies. Like, you know, you have some trades that work out really well, and then when the momentum kind of follows the setup. Well, I've definitely had my fair share of trades that take, you know, a little longer than they should. They have like 10 minutes of chop before they finally go. And yeah, it kind of just depends on if you can handle that. But then some trades are great. Jeez, I can't speak. Yeah, some trades, they're great. They work well. But not every trade is that nice. Yeah, I think it might be as well. Like chop, but also just kind of like trend a little bit. Right, moment was kind of the anticipation of a bigger move, or it's like the breakout after a lot of chop, right? Or I think a better word is consolidation. The market consolidates enough, it kind of breaks out with some momentum, but then it either chops again, or it just trends slowly. Stop loss is a fast sell to prevent larger losses. True. TP isn't the expectation for things to go higher. Interesting. You TP when you think the move's over. You stop loss when you think the move has begun. Against you. Yeah, yeah. That makes sense. That's true. I've concluded that second entry is the default unless Momo is present. Point TP. Probably a pretty solid plan. Now that I'm really thinking, I think this is why most traders fail. Reliance on Momo-driven markets, mom-driven markets, when things go back to normal cooked. Which means I low-key set you up for failure. Maybe in some ways. But I think that is why a lot of fail, because they do see the momentum and they see the trades that work really well. So they start adapting their strategy to those trades. And then they work for a couple weeks, maybe a month. But yeah, as soon as market stops giving the momentum to that strategy, they're like, what the heck happened? That might have been a little bit how my old strategy was, the first one. I kind of figured it out and was watching the market and back testing, and I saw what worked and I started doing it. And within a couple months, I mean, I did work on that strategy for a little while, but I started to see it kind of pick up in some success and it worked out really well. And yeah, within a couple months, got like a lot of payouts, and then it kind of just stopped working. And I think it was partly with a momentum change. A lot of my trades got stopped at break even that normally wouldn't have. I'd still win some, but I was winning less because all more were getting stopped at break even, and then I'd still take a loss every now and then. So my strategy that I did have a win rate that was pretty high, that was making profit, I started missing wins, but still taking the same losses I took before, you know? Because obviously sometimes you get stopped out without a chance to go break even. And that's going to happen either way. But I just started missing more profits, which ended up making the strategy unprofitable. Chopping the default is wild though. Yeah. A little wild. Again, chop, but maybe a little bit of just kind of a trend. Like obviously, like over time, we are kind of just trending up. You know, you go to like the daily chart. But I mean, yeah, smaller time frames, and even like most time frames, we are kind of like just chopping and swinging up and down as the kind of the default. Yeah, you could just call it chop, but definitely. I mean, yeah, the momentum really just seems to kind of be the breakout from the consolidation of the chop. Yeah, that 1 hour Viaco is crazy. Where your box is at? They might be like just up higher. I'm down 386 today. It'll be aight though. I can make it back tomorrow. Always. You can always make it back tomorrow. Definitely don't stress about trying to make it back today, because you might end up more in the red. If chop is the default, you can trade past 11 a.m. Am I dumb? I mean, like on paper, I mean, yeah, like technically if that's true, and if like we're both kind of understanding that correctly, I mean, technically that should be like the norm. But also the norm might just not be the best for trading, which is why people follow the momentum and get trapped. But I mean, yeah, learning to trade like after 11 a.m. or even like the Asian session, like probably could be beneficial to avoid some of the manipulation, fake kind of momentum. Now here's a textbook 5-minute trade, scale below the 1. Let's see if it goes right back up and stops everybody out. Catch the second entry. Yeah, I might consider if we get back up there. Of course, this one would be the one that plays out and goes straight to TP with like scaling also. I mean, yeah, that's already like 30 points right there. Yeah, they were like, I think I just left them up higher. But I kind of prefer like, I don't know, I feel like the best trades I've taken are when like it actually gets close to the EMA or touches it. I don't know. Especially like recently with all the losses, like I feel like every time I take a trade in the zone, it just goes straight to the EMA and then stops me out right after. But waiting for it to kind of, you know, wick into the EMA or even wick through the EMA and then come back makes a little bit more sense. Yeah, no moment I was done. That's kind of what I also kind of, I guess, figured out on my own. Just watching some of my losses the last couple of days. Like if I just waited for a better entry instead of the zone, then the trade might have worked out. And also just like not scaling. This trade might have actually worked with the scaling though. We're kind of struggling to really make the move lower. We might just be lacking momentum. It is kind of tempting. If we couple 830, I might
Order filled.
try short. We'll leave our stop there. I might even just leave the same kind of TP. See if we can kind of break out past the lows there. I might lower it a little bit, but even like the 5-minute ATR, 75%, it kind of lines up with 1-minute ATR is like 22, so I guess we could lower it a little bit. Man, that was a good almost instant 10 points though. We have a lot of room to the downside though. We have a gap to kind of fill. The next lows are 745. So definitely could. We might target 30. Just to give us a little room in case it does like break out past the lows. But then we'll probably trail as soon as we get to the lows. Oh dang. The buyers came out of nowhere though. Yeah, I might chop back up to the 5 EMA for the second entry. But the first entry did kind of like hit TP, so maybe the second entry isn't valid on this one, but I don't know. Definitely does seem to be lacking a little continuation on this move, which means might not get the trade here. I know, I was gonna say, he's got a fancy name now, and he's back. I feel like it's been a minute. Yeah, I might try another short off the 5 if we make the attempt. Yeah, we definitely could hold below the 1 here, make the move. But we definitely are kind of struggling. And with the lack of continuation so far, we definitely could see the buyers start to step in. Still don't mind it though, like we could kind of push through this 1 minute bear flag. Take out these lows. Might be pretty solid. But again, we're kind of in the situation we talked about earlier, where we're consolidating in this area between like 42 and 24. And eventually the momentum will come. But yeah, I mean, is it going to break out lower, break out higher? We'll see. Definitely had a chance to go lower, kind of failed. So we definitely could be getting stopped out, or just, you know, the trade's definitely not as high probability as it was when we first got in. Now that we're above the 1 EMA, too, if we could keep holding above it, I might just close it for a smaller loss. Yeah, there's the move up. I might hold my stop, but yeah, it's not looking the best.
Order filled.
Yeah, it looks like it's gonna kind of pop up. But it will be kind of funny when it just dips down now. That's usually what happens if I cut a trade early. Yeah, I'll watch the 5. I probably, like I said, I'm probably gonna wait for it to actually like touch it, just without the momentum. Because again, if we go straight through the EMA, then obviously we're not going to be looking good for shorts. But if I do like, actually, I think I might even.
Order submitted.
I guess this indicator, it might not work. Oh, maybe I can. Yeah. So I can, with my fancy thing, I can attach the order to the EMA. I don't know exactly how it works. It's not where it's technically supposed to be. But it does kind of follow the EMA a little bit. but it is a little off and it kind of lags my mouse a little bit. Also, that's what I was literally talking about.
Order canceled.
Oh, that's funny. So that's why I almost didn't cut it, because like it was holding above the 1, but it looked a little weak. Not saying that was right, obviously, but that's why I hesitated to cut it just a little bit. And dipping SMH, yeah, literally. As soon as I cut it, I mean, that's the market for you. They're watching the stream. Not. Definitely not your fault. I even talked about it once we closed above. I was like, yeah, like might be worth cutting. But I like was almost ready to accept the full stop just to give it a chance. But I don't think it's like bad to cut it after something like this. I think the key is just being consistent, you know, because like if I don't cut the next one, I might hit full stop, you know, and then it's like I lost this trade and that one. But if I cut trades like this in the future, then it's probably, you know, not as big of a deal as long as I'm consistent and stuff. Plus, we're almost all the way back up. I don't think I would have hit TP there, but I definitely would have like gone break even. Maybe, let's see, 30. I would have been up like 25 points. Almost. See, I don't know if I would have hit TP unless I targeted like the 1 minute ATR of like 20, 22 or something. Dang, crazy little wick and pop or wick and drop back down there. Grab this second. I might just try like yeah, I might try that. Also, if we get like a little sweep above it, it is tough because like even this one, it's like we didn't quite touch it, or like we kind of did. Obviously, like the EMA moves up and down, so that's why there's the anticipation zone. But I kind of want to see like a sweep through it, kind of like we've talked about with like the 30 R or the 70 RSI, like see it kind of get above the 70 or at the 70 and then go for the sell. That's kind of one of my ideas that might be worth trying. Because like on this trade, it would have been almost like a top tick entry somewhere in here. But yeah, the second entry might be better anyways. So we'll see if we get that. Also, this could be a decent kind of setup. You know, sweep the lows, break this high. Could be a decent setup for the long. Potentially here. We're still kind of in this chop though, but there is a little bit of kind of price manipulation here with taking these lows out, coming all the way back up, taking this high out, fully about the 1 minute EMA. $7.50 incoming. It's definitely possible. So yeah, something like that would probably be like my kind of indication to sell. But I did have a feeling we are going to kind of go up a little bit more, so I might hold off. I almost went long there, actually, kind of off some of this move. Like, it's kind of something I've gone for and done before. And yeah, it looks like it would have worked out pretty well so far. I definitely could try something out to 15 here. Especially since we've got this momentum, we might lose some of it, get a little pullback. Once we get up here. Dang, kind of a crazy close there on the 5 minute candle. Kind of hard to imagine we're not bullish after that move. Short 60 on ES. Yeah, I might wait, like I said, for the 15 EMA, maybe the 70 on NQ. But also, I might just wait for like a pullback, bull flag or something. Go back to some of my roots a little bit. Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking. Go 70, touch 15. Get up there, get a little wick above it, and then maybe get a reaction down for the short. And then just hold for TP. It's not a bad wick, but I kind of want like a little... I kind of wanted to get through like the live EMA price, if that makes sense. So we get above like 904. I guess that kind of works. I don't know. I kind of missed the entry though. I should have just like sold right away. But it is like a new theory, so I am kind of watching it more than I'm like really stressing about taking the trade. But we haven't hit the 70 yet either, so maybe... I don't know, maybe I just need to put like a limit order up there. And just kind of like leave it like above the EMA a little bit like this. Just so if we get like a little wick through, get the order in, and then get the little reaction down. Something like that. But also could... Yeah, that's kind of the idea though, like with what I'm looking for possible entries. Probably could have grabbed that for sure. Only went down 27 points though. Might still go lower. But yeah, second entry might be a little better anyways. Sometimes second entries are tough though, because if it does react a little bit off the first, sometimes if it goes up again, I mean, is it going to react or is it just going to blow right through it? Quick long here, 914 to 934. Possibly. So yeah, like if I just kind of put one like up here, move it up a little bit with like with the EMA. I mean, don't know if I want to keep like moving it around, but yeah, like something like that. Yeah, it definitely might not work quite as well though.
Order canceled.
That first entry definitely probably would have been better. You know, at least get some profit here. Just kind of trail a little bit. But I know we kind of like teased the entry there. Yeah, I still might get a little pullback, which would be nice. It makes sense. Off the 15 here. But I think I'm still definitely kind of feeling a little overall bullish, which if we see the right kind of setup, we might take that as well. Yeah, I do like the longs here, but not necessarily like here. I think I need like more specific of a setup first if I'm really going to be taking it, just so I know like where to put my stop and the risk and everything. So yeah, that would be like the move. Like I'd, in theory, like short here. I don't know if I like the third though. I feel like at that point, like it's just going to go up through it, you know? I mean, it's still rejecting it, but and we could kind of be in like a little chop area here anyways. But the failure to really reject more since this first rejection does make me kind of not trust it as much.
Order filled.
We'll try. I mean, that's kind of like the good entry that I would have wanted. Kind of right here at the EMA. And yeah, if it does go up through it, then obviously the shorts aren't really valid anyways. Might tighten our stop a little bit with like the 1 minute ATR. And then target. I might just target like the 5 EMA, honestly. Even that first trade, we probably could have targeted the 1 EMA and it would have been a pretty good TP. And then we've hit the 1. It might not be bad to kind of lock in some profits or like break even. But also I don't mind holding it a little bit more just to like trust the move. Yeah, I imagine we might still kind of chop this area. We could get a little pullback, which would be nice. Depending on how this candle closes, I might trail my stop above the wick of this candle. Or maybe not. Right, I definitely could manipulate for a little bit more. I mean, yeah, if we closed red here, it would have made sense to maybe trail my stop. But since we're already basically back up here, I can't really do that. Does feel a little bullish though, especially if we kind of get through some of these candles here. Start to take the highs out, could get a little push up. It's tempting to do the scale once we get below the 1, but probably just should not. No, not below. Scale your entry. Yeah, I've heard you mention that. I see like the idea of it. But I just don't know if I like the idea of just like putting on more size and tightening my stop. Staying long again. It's definitely long overall, but we took this short kind of expecting a little bit of a rejection off the 15 EMA. Not really going for like the whole momentum thing with the scaling. Just a little bounce to like this other EMA kind of based off like the risk and everything. But I am feeling long overall based off especially the 5 minute and some of this price action in here. Right, the rest of the same, showing your stop. Yeah, I don't really like that move though.
Order filled.
I'm gonna cut it. But see, that's like the same idea as like the scaling before. And like having a tighter stop, just more likely to get stopped out. And that's my entry really is just like perfect. Couldn't get the bounce there at the 15. We kind of held up above the 1. So yeah, I kind of just took the trade off there for a small little loss. I imagine we keep going up. Yeah, I'm still getting used to kind of the whole engulfing change of delivery thing. Because yeah, we kind of had it here, I guess, on like this 1 minute. But obviously that wouldn't have been like the best entry necessarily because of the 15 EMA and it's kind of just chopping, but we definitely could kind of break out here and make that move up. Definitely not something I'm totally like used to like looking at and seeing on the in the market, but definitely keeping an eye out for it. 85 is the ultimate long entry. Today's weird though. Yeah, don't trade CPI days. I know it's kind of weird. I feel like, yeah, with one of my strategies, like trading CPI days, like made no sense at all. But I feel like with some of them, it's like they work so much better on CPI and PPI days. I mean, not like FOMC or like PAL days, but like CPI, especially since that news comes out before the market open. It actually seems to almost like work out a little bit better. At least for like some of the trades that I was taking before. There's the long. I'm not quite seeing the long yet. We're still kind of just consolidating here between the 15 and the 1 minute EMA. But I do think it's going to go up. I agree. We might be making the breakout here though. Still hesitating though. A little bit of hesitation here on NQ. ES kind of looks like it wants to try as well, but it's still below the 15 EMA. Long 91. Okay, okay. Yeah, so you kind of got in kind of towards the bottom of this range here. Looks like we'll get another little pullback. I'm definitely leaning more towards the longs, but I definitely don't really like this chop because I feel like it could break out up, but it could also break out lower for like a stronger pullback into like the middle of this leg here. Maybe like 60s, and then maybe we find some support in 60s, maybe like 70s, and then go up. Yeah, if you lose like 85, that's when it could start to possibly break out lower. Break it up. Ain't no momo for that if we in a chop market. Yeah, but also like just like the way the market moves, like obviously it has been a little weird lately with like what we've talked about, like the EMAs and things and like the momo. But I think it's still like a pretty like just normal thing. Like we consolidate, and then after we consolidate, we break out of the consolidation. And yeah, like you only really need like 20 to 30 points, but some sort of kind of move away from the consolidation, which is what we had earlier here. I mean, we can draw a little region here. It's like we were kind of consolidating in this area and we kind of failed to break the lows, and then we kind of started to break through these highs and we got a little bit of a move up, and now we're consolidating again. And eventually we're going to move away from the consolidation. We can't stay here forever. It's not like a true momentum move, but it's like it's going to like break away and actually have like a leg like this instead of the chop. So like it's either going to do this or it's going to do this, is what I'm saying. Not necessarily momentum, but it's going to move away from the zone that it's created. So that's like the consolidation. I mean, kind of same thing up here. It's like we had this consolidation. We kind of failed to break the consolidation at the highs. And then eventually we finally broke it here with this red candle. And we had a pretty powerful move down. I mean, this is like a 52. It's like a 50-point candle in the 1 minute, which is a pretty beefy candle. And we had a little pullback back to the range, rejected off of it. And then we had this move down that was pretty clean. So eventually we are going to kind of break this, and we're just going to kind of go up. I mean, maybe not that aggressively. It might be more like this, but we're either going to do that or we're going to kind of get through these lows and then kind of make the same move down. That tenuous news. I mean, this was 10:03 or 10:04. I guess it could have still technically been a part of news, but The actual news candle was this green one here. Yeah, I feel like it's only a matter of time before we get a little move up there to the 920.30. But it's definitely taking its time. And we do kind of have like a pennant kind of forming as well here of sorts, or like just a channel up, which we could follow. We could kind of break.
Order canceled.
Just making sure my trades still work. I got like disconnected there for a sec. Go, go, go. It's trying. It's just very, very slow. This is the classic 11 a.m. price action right here. Very, very classic. There's 920. Boom. I'm guessing you took TP. Nice, nice. $30. Heck yeah. And from like, I think you said like 91. Nice. Yeah, I've been kind of like keeping an eye on the engulfing candles, but I just haven't, I guess, quite seen, or I'm still not seeing exactly what you're seeing. But I'm keeping an eye out for it. Because you said like 85 is like the ideal entry, but I'm also just not seeing where you would get in at 85. Or like why. But definitely seemed to work out pretty well here. Or obviously like this candle kind of engulfing, kind of, I don't know, maybe that's missing a couple entry things, but obviously that one would have gotten kind of wrecked. Same with this one. I guess it's not really engulfing, but the first screen engulfing like this one. And like I'll draw a line, make it easy. This screen engulfing, yes, okay. So off the EMAs. The first signal entry, but then did you wait for like something else? Because you didn't get in at 901, you got in at 91, like 10 points lower. I'm not seeing any other engulfing candles around 91 or 85. So that's why I'm just a little confused with like the entry. Because I see like the idea of this candle, but if you got long at 901, you only would have gotten like 20 points out of it. If you like wait for this candle to close. The second one? This one? Or bounce off 85? I'm guessing you're thinking about this one. But again, just looking at those two candles, like where would you get like the 91 entry? Because if you wait for this to close up here for the engulfing, that's a 903 entry. Same with the first one, it's 901. 85 holds, then enter 91. You want to enter on an engulfing pattern. Which is 85. I guess I just don't understand like why 85 is important. Because it has nothing to do with this engulfing candle, the first one. But I'm curious to like see your kind of perspective on this. It's just not making like the most sense to me. But obviously you're just like typing stuff and it's not the easiest to communicate that way. Especially when there's a distinct level of support there, which is 85. Okay, so I'm guessing you just kind of bottom of the range. Don't need to understand. It's the market saying that's a level of support. And that's why I just didn't understand. I wasn't sure if there was like something else you were talking about at 85 for like the engulfing thing. But if you're just talking about kind of this bottom of like this range or even like this little support line, then yeah, like the 85 level support along engulfing candle, that's all signals for longs. Gotcha. So you get this engulfing sign and then you kind of wait for support kind of at the bottom of the range. And then once it reacts, that's when you would get long, I'm guessing. Right. Things are starting to set up and everything. That makes sense. What about this, like this first little wick? So like this little wick, it's not like an engulfing candle, but obviously you don't know that yet. So once we find kind of support here at 81, same 85 area, would you kind of make that same long, like 99 to 1 off this candle? Entry can be anywhere from 890 to 900. Okay. Yeah, I'm just trying. I'm probably asking too many questions, kind of picking here, but just trying to kind of understand a little bit of the logic. Because yeah, with like the logic of like this candle being the entry, finding support 85. In my mind, the logic would also be like, well, why wasn't this candle also an entry at the same spot? But it sounds like it could have been an entry, like kind of same idea. You kind of see it hold up here, maybe wait for it to close, maybe not, but then you get in around 90. Okay, so that would have been a more aggressive entry. But do you kind of wait for like a little just extra confirmation, I guess? Seeing it hold 85 like kind of a second time after this first kind of wick candle move up. Makes sense. Right, like 10 point stop for 20 to 30 point move. So this is red candle. I mean, maybe it doesn't go along with like the trend or like your bias if you're bullish, but I mean, looks kind of engulfing to me. And then you just kind of wait for like 17 support or something. Yeah, 1 minute has 4 to 600 profit potential, which is pretty solid. Especially on like a 50K. Yeah, five micros, only 2 to 300 profit, risking like 100. It's pretty solid. Few years, wow. I'm guessing it's kind of like your main strat for like Asia and New York and stuff. Works for both longs and shorts. Don't have a main strat. Okay. Right, right. Just like reading the Matrix. Exactly. So we're kind of moving our way down now. See the same 2 or 3 patterns every single day. Just got to pounce on it when you see it set up. Makes sense. Right, recognize the setup. Dang. There's a little something. Again, kind of like we talked about with that, I mean, whatever you want to call it, like momentum, chop consolidation. It's like we have this, we kind of fail to really push the highs and then kind of break these lows and just kind of dump. But also that could have been some news thing too. I know. Random BS or just whatever. Breakout, who knows. Oh, the wick's even crazier though. Almost all the way back up. See how 85 broke? Yeah, I think everything broke there. But no, I see what you're saying. I was also kind of had the same idea in mind. Right, that was a level of sorts. Kind of tempting to go for a long after that wick. Dang, yeah, 60 point like sell off there, and then we just came all the way right back up. Last night there was a lot sitting at 825 for the longest time. Didn't make any sense. Yeah. It happens sometimes, and like it's weird because it like doesn't make any sense, but just is what it is. Right, okay, so this green candle is engulfing So yeah, I kind of see that. I'm anticipating some sort of setup just kind of in my mind, hypothetically. But I mean, yeah, like let's see. So I guess like maybe if we support like 93 or just kind of watch it, see kind of what happens. And we bounced off 93 there a little bit. Yeah, the wicks are definitely looking good for the buyers. But yeah, like on something like this, it still might come back down, but yeah, the aggressive entry would be kind of around 900. Which on this might have been the only entry. I mean, you might kind of miss any other entry. So yeah, I wonder, are you usually pretty cautious? Even if like, are you fine missing a move like this? Yeah, the weird freaking candle. No, I'd definitely be a little cautious too. But I mean, yeah, there's 20 points going on 30 here soon. Right, you're already like chilling with your profit, which is another thing. But yeah, I can kind of see the idea, like, of a more aggressive entry, kind of seeing like it kind of start to, you know, find that support here at the bottom of like this other previous like red candle and then make its way up a little bit around 900. But yeah, if you would have waited for any more confirmation, you would have missed the move for sure. Okay, engulfing, and then the two more wicks. Yeah, with this one, you kind of had to wait a little bit more just because of these red candles and stuff. Wicks on the upside, top of the range. It's making some sense. 910 would be conservative entry. Yeah, kind of like waiting for it to kind of get up here above this previous wick, I'm guessing. Right, anything kind of later than that is a little late. But I mean, yeah, great move up there though. Yeah, I almost took it just because of kind of the bull flag setup that we had. Kind of get above these previous highs like 904. Kind of just take it in here somewhere, stop down here somewhere. And yeah, like let it run a little bit. Definitely seems to be pretty solid if you can recognize and execute it correctly. But also I said the same thing about tech flu strategy, which again, like to be fair, like to give him a little bit of credit, December was pretty solid for me. I mean, I made $2,600 or like $2,400 in 1 week, not a single losing day trading his strat. I could have passed like the Funny Ticks eval in 1 week if I like didn't have any drawdown. And I was only trading like 4 micros, like initial. So my risk was only like $200 per trade. Anyways. Not saying that yours is just going to, you know, stop working or whatever, but Right. Been using for years. I kind of thought he had been using his for years as well. But then it's like, oh, the market's changing. Now we got to switch up a bunch of things. Definitely like a bit weird. Because like if that was my strat, like to begin with, it's like I wouldn't want to just give up on it like that. Unless it just doesn't work, obviously. Have a Swiss Army knife of strats for different setups. It's recognizing setups and then using a particular strategy accordingly. Yeah. Kind of wish I took this one. I mean, yeah, it's going straight up. Hindsight's always rough, though. Yeah, I almost thought about it too, but I was kind of waiting a little bit more for some of that confirmation. I guess I just was like, wait, I'm gonna miss the move, and then I kind of did. So I was like, oh well. Right, definitely not a problem being a little more passive on a day like today, especially when you're in profit. Oh, but you do like to be aggressive when you're in profit. Okay. Which also makes sense because especially if you have like end of day drawdown, you can really take advantage of that end of day drawdown by like risking it all to make even more profit. Because with end of day drawdown, if you have like 500 profit or more, you've got an extra $500 of total drawdown. Which also makes sense. Well, looks like we might get... Actually, maybe not. I was going to say maybe we get a red engulfing here. But I guess technically, like... What's your definition of engulfing? Is it just the previous candle? Or is it like... Does it have to be like a pretty full candle, like with no wicks? Change of delivery. Yeah, I've mentioned that a couple times, but it is a term I'm not quite as familiar with. Because obviously, like, wait for the close of the candle. Because obviously that's not engulfing. But I'm familiar with, like, change of structure. Like here, we take out this previous high. And it's like, okay, we are kind of changing to a, more long bias as far as like the short-term trend possible reversal here, which we got. But like change of delivery, I think I've heard on a couple of YouTube videos, but I never really heard too much about that. You have action one way, then all of a sudden it changes direction with an engulfing. Okay. Yeah, change of structure is good for reversals. That's how my OG strat kind of was. Like, it's been kind of hard, like I've said, to like find real good entries, just because like the market's been moving a little bit differently, and like it hasn't had like the best just kind of moves with some of my trades. But usually I'd kind of look at some of the fair value gaps, which I know some people hate for some reason, but basically, yeah, sweep the liquidity down here and then change structure to the upside here. Somewhere in here, like it'd be better if it kind of came up a little higher, but then got a pull back into this fair value gap and then made the move up. But even technically, it's like I've kind of been looking at it in a little bit differently, and like we still like took this high out, but then we're supporting this one EMA right here. And then we definitely could have gone for an entry like at, 850, kind of 855. which would have been pretty solid for like a decent move here. And yeah, even like you're talking about like the kind of bullish momentum or engulfing here. It's like engulfing, support the EMA as well as just these wicks. So I mean that would kind of work for like market structure shift, but also like the engulfing you're talking about. Exactly, both are kind of good in that situation. Change of delivery is good for momentum / trend days. Gotcha, gotcha. It's a double bottom, doesn't play well with ICT. Yeah, I'm not too familiar with a lot of ICT. You have both right. Oh yeah, I read that. We tested the neckline and took off. Oh, if you're talking about like this random candle that came down. I mean, yeah, it kind of came down and just like hit the top of this little move here and just bounced right back up. Crazy. Oh yeah, super hard to predict those. I think if it wasn't, I mean, that's what everyone would be trying to find, right? Everyone would be waiting for this kind of move and they try and predict it, make money off of it. Because I mean, if you can like at all expect it, be like, oh, I feel like it's coming short. If you go short anywhere in here, like obviously the better entry would be up here, but like even if it's like a bad entry at like 895 or something, it's like you still catch 50 points off of it within seconds. Well, apparently it wasn't random though. Yeah, I think I'd agree on bet on this one. Like I was definitely kind of expecting a little bit of a reaction off this 15 EMA, especially once we got below like 85, like he was talking about. But to predict that this would happen all within 1 minute, I don't know if that's something you could necessarily predict based off price action over here. But I did expect a pullback. Like you can like go back on the stream, like on YouTube. I was even telling Bet, I was like, yeah, I think we're going to kind of break through here, reject here. Like I even took a short here. I was like, yeah, we're probably going to like make this move down kind of like halfway. I think I even mentioned like possibly like 50 or 60 being like where we find support and then we go back up, which is like exactly what we did. So I did kind of call it out. But dang, 14K, that's pretty nice. Nice work. 30 plus years. Dang. It's a long time. Yeah, all that in 1 minute. Oh, yeah, you definitely have the right trade in mind, but I think this could have easily, this move could have taken 5-10 minutes, maybe even 20. But the fact that it took 1 minute to get down and all the way back up, I don't know. Not something I am really good at predicting, I guess, but maybe you did know that that exact thing was going to happen. 30 years of experience is a lot. Yeah, seriously. 30 years ago, they didn't even have like this kind of trading. Yeah, like at least with this, you have like time to click the buy button. But like 30 years ago, you see that drop coming and you're like, hey, make sure I buy at this price, and you gotta like make sure that like that's gonna happen, otherwise you're gonna miss it. So yeah, like paper and all that stuff. Yeah, like Wolf of Wall Street movie. You like get on your phone and say, hey, like I want to put four orders at 95. Yeah, literally. Graph paper. That's awesome. Now I'm feeling old. Yeah, that takes me back to grade school. Oh yeah, tech we have now is great. What a blessing. Yeah, hindsight's always 2020 with regret and everything, but it was a good move. I was kind of thinking the same thing, but it's not the end of the world. Definitely tough missing trades, but the way I like to think about it is like if my strategy or the strategy is actually good, then I shouldn't have to worry because I'll just get another one later. But sometimes it is rough with like prop firms because yeah, you like miss a good winning trade or winning day, and then you end up like you're losing the next trade and you end up in drawdown. And anyways, it's, you know, with that extra winning day, it could have made a difference. But again, in theory, you should be winning enough that you don't have to worry about that. What EMAs are you using? This is the 1 minute 9 EMA, 5 minute 9, and 15 minute 9. I want to take a nap. I was up till 2 a.m. watching Asia/London. Dang. Well, it does seem to be working out for you. Like I said, I might get on that Asia train for a couple hours. But if I do, it's probably going to replace New York. So I don't know if I quite want to do that yet, but I might. Just give myself a little more freedom in the mornings for some other stuff. But we'll see. Yeah, I've got some other stuff on my other charts. I have TradingView on a different monitor. Got VWAP and some other levels I like to look at. I've never heard of NQ quarter levels before now. But it looks like the longs are working out here. We kind of got those shorts out of the way and now we're going long and strong. Game changer. There's an indicator that maps them out for you in TradingView. Interesting. I'll have to check it out sometime. Oh. The active support resistance is kind of cool. I can see like flashing green and red. There's a lot of lines though. I feel like that might give me a headache if I look at it too long. Gotcha. The purple lines. Either drops price or accelerates it. Interesting. I'll have to keep an eye on it. Yeah, trade. Or hold trades a little longer. Actually, I think I've heard of something kind of similar actually. But it was like the 80 and 20. There was like a YouTuber I was watching when I first got into trading futures a couple years ago. He always would talk about like the 80 to 20 rotation. Seems like a pretty similar kind of idea.
Order filled.
We'll try a short here. Engulfing candle. Kind of came back, found a little support there at 17. My stop 2 type ATR has gone down a little bit, so we might just go for like 20 points there. Yeah, that might be a better, kind of more conservative route for sure. If we can get below like 10, 15, or I mean 10, 6. Yeah, like somewhere in here. 010, 05 area, we should get a nice little dip down. Yeah, we just need to get below 010. And I think we're chilling. Might just take a sec to get down there. And my entry was a little bit more aggressive, like I said, but we'll see what happens. Nice close there below the EMA. I kind of almost got to 10 there. See if we can get down there, get kind of below it. It's looking pretty good. We kind of have a bear flag as well, kind of here that we're starting to kind of break through. There we go. We're kind of testing the waters there at 10. Might lose it here in a second. There we go. We lost, kind of lost 10 there. See if we can move kind of down here. Not sure if we'll be able to get the full 20 here. ATR has gone down quite a bit. Lost a lot of volatility. But good move here. It's kind of what we were looking at. Kind of about to take this low out. Might just go break even on this. Just in front of break even. See if we can get the full 20. But if we do trap the sellers here and go back up, I'll just take the risk off and be done with that. Might trail my stop too if we go lower. Lock in some profits, potentially. Looks like it wants to go a little bit lower, but hard to tell. Pull back a little bit. See if we find some support here at the 1 EMA. Maybe this fair value gap. Might get stopped out, but at least we won't take a loss on this trade. I'm kind of fine with either result. Yeah, I might retest 10. So we might break the lows here, get a little push. Probably down to like 90. We probably could target a little bit more. But I'm fine just taking the 20 points. My trail just up above these candles here. Yeah, like right there. If we get back and get above those previous candles, not going to be a big fan. Yeah, it could drop a lot. Did I miss it by like a tick or something? You love it. Love to see that. It's my favorite. It should be fine though.
Target filled.
There we go. Was that $80? Yeah, 20 points, 2 micros. Not a bad trade. We probably do go lower. But I don't feel bad just locking in like a nice 20 points, call it a day. Could have probably gone for 30. But like I said, market's slowing down a little bit. We're in that lunchtime for over on the East Coast. Yeah, good trade there. Oh, thank you for all the things you sent. The populars, the lives, the heart me's, all those things. I don't know what a lot of that means, but I think it's good, so thank you. Yeah, it could be run back all the way down to, yeah, 915, 910 area. This we'll see. But, kind of nice little piece of the pie. Made back some losses. I'm probably happy with that. Didn't think the momentum was going to pick up like this though. Crazy. Nice moves. Yeah, I actually was gonna send a screenshot of that to the Discord. I saw that engulfing, kind of saw it kind of hold up in here. I was a little aggressive with my entry, but got 20 points out of it. Any payouts in December? No, I passed some evaluations in December, but no payouts. Yeah, should have held this for like 30, but I kind of thought we were dying off with like the ATR and just the volatility. he's getting close to passing. Nice work. But yeah, it seems like the market's been working pretty well for your strat, especially like more recently. Getting those payouts. Love to see it. Well, thank you for the roses. Appreciate it. I appreciate it. Yeah, as long as you're aware of Apex's rules and it doesn't inflict on your strategy, they're like a fine prop firm. Ooh, I might have to jump back in this above 26k. Interesting, interesting. Do you also look at like higher time frames for those engulfing candles and things? Okay, okay. Well, this could be a kind of engulfing candle. I was thinking maybe being done trading for the day, but at least on the 1 minute could be a little short if we get like kind of a pullback somewhere in here. Yeah, it definitely could be dumping if we take out these lows here. I remember my first ever account blown, but I used code BANG. Hey, I appreciate it. Sorry you blew it though. But unfortunately, that is kind of part of the game when you first get started. Only 3.5 months in. Dang, yeah. Definitely lots to learn, but fun journey.
Order filled.
I might try this again. I mean, kind of this kind of bigger engulfing red, kind of give it a try. Kind of find support off this 1 minute EMA. If I'm kind of seeing that right, I think we do have more room to the downside as well. Especially if we can get through this 15 minute EMA. 10 points might be a little tight though. $55 is definitely kind of a level. It was kind of a long setup with some of these candles. But yeah, this big engulfing red plus the overall downtrend kind of makes sense to me. If we hold at 55, I probably won't like the shorts too much. But if we break through 55 and like the 50s, we should be good. Yeah, it looks like might get stopped out here.
stop filled.
Yeah, win some and lose some. Right, semi-long setup. But see, that's what I was actually kind of hoping for right there. I mean, I just got stopped out just barely. Jeez. No, actually, I don't know where this came from, but... yeah. Cover for confirmation. So that's where, like, I guess I don't quite understand. It kind of worked out in the last trade that I took, but I know that 55 break, the everything break. But I mean, yeah, it looks like I had the right idea. Just a little aggressive on my entry and my stop loss there. It'd be like that sometimes, literally. We're in the trade, get stopped out, and then we dump. You love to see it. I would like to trade, but I don't know what to do or where to start. It looks confusing. Definitely can be and is when you first get started. I mean, you really just have to what am I trying to say? I mean, yeah, just watch the markets, watch, you know, some videos, live streams and everything. I do not do one-on-ones because I just don't have time for that, but you're welcome to join the streams, hang out, ask questions. There's 2 greens right after. Got to wait for the change of delivery, and then there's no confirmation. And see, that's what I don't quite understand, because there's like this candle was looking good. Same with this red one, which is why I took it. But then it closed bad. But based off earlier, the logic you were talking about, there was no candle closure at the entry you were talking about. The entry you were talking about that would have been ideal around, like, again, just trying to understand the logic here, not saying that you were like wrong or anything, but you're kind of talking about like that 91 right here, like off this candle. But like if you waited for this candle to close, your entry would have been 904, which would have been not nearly as good. But you're saying that the logic made sense to enter around 91, or maybe between 900 and 90. But basically that logic, there's no like waiting for the candle closure, if that makes sense. Because this green candle that's engulfing, in hindsight, looks really good. And you could have, you know, seen it kind of reject 85, go up here to 91, entered. But then it could have rejected off the EMA or 991 and gone down and closed low. So that's why I don't quite understand the logic, unless it is just the difference between aggressive and not. Because like you could say this is aggressive, but it almost sounded like you were saying it was not a good entry. But obviously, yeah, just trying to kind of understand the logic a little bit. Because yeah, at first this red candle looks pretty good. Maybe I should have waited for like a second red candle to like after this closes and then wait for another. I mean, I guess semi-long. I guess I don't really see the engulfing. Unless you're talking about like this second green candle here kind of closing above these two. I guess that kind of makes sense. Would have been better if there was like a wick instead. But yeah, with this big red engulfing, I kind of see what you're saying though, I think. Gotcha, gotcha. Previous candle avoids that. Changed if delivery for shorts. Right, not like A plus setup, but obviously if I had like a bigger stop or better, a little bit better entry, I would have been fine. But yeah, kind of makes sense. We're kind of just chopping here anyways though, but we did get that flush down. We would have hit TP 30 points pretty easily. But I mean, we are at that time of day. I mean, it's almost 11 o'clock, so my time, which is like 1 p.m. Eastern. So kind of makes sense that we are, for the most part, done with some bigger moves today. Probably better to look for some of those scalps, like you were saying, like 10, 15 points. Yeah. Normally I probably would kind of stay out, but try to make a little bit back on this eval. Before the day is done. But between, I mean, that $80 win and $40 loss, I still made some money kind of trying this out, so. Yeah, we are running out of drawdown a little bit. We have like 550 left. I mean, it's a 25k account, so there's only 1500 total. And yeah, we've kind of just gotten cooked this last week with some of those EMA trades and the scaling and stuff. But yeah, if I put on a mini, be a little bit more aggressive, might be able to make it back pretty easily. But it's almost about that time for me. I might leave the stream on a little bit longer, keep chatting, but don't know if I'll be taking too many more trades. And then around 11, I'll probably be peacing out, go eat some lunch. Shorts below 55. And I do like that, especially if we get below this 15-minute EMA. Definitely still have room to the downside. Aggressive entry at 60. Ooh, yeah, for those shorts. So this is, I'm guessing, a little bit different of a kind of strategy or move. You kind of, it's more of a, if this level fails, we kind of dump instead of a engulfing candle. Because yeah, you've mentioned that plenty of times in the stream, like, oh yeah, if we like shorts below this level, if we break this, we short, or if we get above this, we go up. Oh yeah, it looks like we're about about at that spot. Down to 20s. Yeah, that'd be be a nice little move. I mean, if it's gonna make it, it's gonna make it soon. This would be like the entry. Maybe I'll just take it like on a sim, just for like the stream.
Order filled.
Because I also I don't mind it either. I don't want to risk quite that much though. It's almost at 10 already. We'll put it at 10. It's getting back below the EMA there. Should be fine. Above 60 for the stop. Gotta get more since it's early entry. Oh, that makes sense. I guess I'll just do like the 15. Keep it kind of consistent or simple. Yeah, it'll probably go. I don't see why it wouldn't. I mean, yeah, like that kind of 50 level, kind of teasing the lows there. But also just the 15-minute EMA, if we get below that, hold below, we should be also looking pretty good for some dumps. The wicks aren't favorable, but also it was almost setting up a bear flag, which can be favorable. Because yeah, like wicks are, it's weird. Wicks are both like bad, but also sometimes good because they start to form like that kind of bear flag, and wicks like to get run, kind of like this, you know? And there it is. Yeah, there's the 15, almost down to the 20s. Yeah, you could easily take your 15 points there and call it a day. 20 points is also good. This is like 25 points down to like that 920 level. Because I also kind of like that 920. But we are kind of bouncing off like 924, that previous high. Maybe I will just kind of like lock in 15 points there. You know, maybe we go down, maybe we just lock in 15. Either way is fine.
Target filled.
And there we go. 25 points there. Nice little short. Yeah, the later entry. But yeah, pretty solid little trade there. Got below the 15, but also, yeah, just below that kind of 50, 55 level that's been holding up. Had some support from the 1 EMA as well. I mean, yeah, this kind of mini bear flag really played out too. Didn't get to get in on that. Yeah, it was kind of a quick one. I mean, there's a little bit of kind of the setup right here for a couple minutes, but I mean, once it got moving, it was kind of too late for most people. But yeah, it was a good call out. And aligned with kind of what I was seeing as well, so no brainer. Should have taken on the real accounts or the EVA eval. But yeah, it's about the time. I'm not going to stress too much about taking too many more trades today. Oh, more roses. Thank you, thank you. Very much appreciated. Oh, you took it in the eval? No, I did not. I took it on a sim account just with some more contracts, just because I like the trade and I probably would take it normally, but let's see. But I didn't take it on the take profit trader accounts. Otherwise I would have made back most of my losses if I took the same size on that. I mean, yeah, that's a little hindsight. It's oh, obviously that would have been pretty sick, but I was kind of it's almost, 1 p.m. Eastern. Oh, I was kind of about to end the stream anyways. Didn't want to get in a trade and be stuck in it for a little while, so it is what it is. But we'll catch some good wins tomorrow morning. See if we can save this take profit trader account. I'm actually tempted to take this possible bear flag though. If we kind of break below 28, 30 area. Especially that might be, I mean, this was a quick trade too in hindsight, but these flags usually are more consistent bear flags. It is kind of a semi-long step though with this kind of engulfing candle here. So I do see that. Yeah, definitely not the best bear flag, but I'll keep an eye on it. Let's see, I might... Yeah, there's the uppies. Not much confirmation there though. On one like this, would you just kind of miss the move? Because there's not a lot of... There's this one candle that kind of closed up here. So you would have had to kind of get in kind of 35 or above, kind of aggressive entry. Might have missed the move. That's why it's semi-long. Gotcha. Oh, and here's the pullback. So this is where it could... Oh, I don't know if I like that. You see how it's just teleported up and down? Not a fan, but this could be the flag. I mean...
Order filled.
Oh, that was a terrible entry. The slippage there. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have taken that, honestly. But I'll just put my stop like here, kind of above the EMA. See if we get a little push through. Maybe let's go for like 15 points. It still should work out, but I meant to enter at like 34, which would have been such a better entry. Yeah, I did go short. Actually, I might even just go break even, like in case we sweep the lows and trap the sellers. And I just didn't get the best entry there. But yeah, I meant to get in right below like the low of this other candle. 33, 34. But it just moved too quickly. I didn't have time. Still could make the move down though. But yeah, it would have been nice if I got a better entry on that, but like I said, I was kind of done trading anyways, but it just looked too good not to take on this. After like this kind of big candle back down. Might even be able to target like 905 potentially.
Target filled.
If we want to be more aggressive, my TP. But I'll just take that. For 90. Boom. I know I might just need to go back to some of these bear bull flag trades. Keep it simple, you know. Oh yeah, this engulfing was nice. But again, not really any confirmation on it though. They were my go-to for a while though. What trading platform is this? It's a Ninja Trader. Now, yeah, I might have to make a return and see if I can save the account with these trades. I do see it pretty clearly. I think I definitely agree with you. I think the only thing I did see, like I said, if you go back and watch, I haven't made any TikToks about it yet because I'm a little behind. I'm still, like one of the videos I'm editing right now is literally from October 30th. I'm a little behind with my clipping for like TikTok and stuff. But eventually I'll make some clips and like you'll might watch those or maybe not, but yeah, seeing the steps forming, that's definitely better than TechFlu's setup. But I was starting to see it pretty clearly, like even now seeing like, because this kind of was almost in line with it, the way we got below the 15 and kind of had like, kind of, I probably would have entered kind of a similar trade here and then kind of do the advanced scaling maybe. I don't know, but in December, I guess I could, let me see. I saw enough of success with it in September on my one of my funding ticks evals that I actually ended up passing using that strategy. That it was hard to be like, you know, like, oh, like I should keep giving this a solid try. But yeah, things stopped working. So that's when I kind of went back to, that's why like now I might just go back to what was working. But yeah, consistency definitely is key. But I'll screenshot. Let's see. I'll screenshot December on this eval. I'll put it in the cord. Just so like you can see what I'm like talking about. But I do agree with you. I think I was, besides December where I did kind of see some success with it, I definitely was more consistent with like the bear bull flags and things. And I think I am going to start Kind of going back to that for now. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. OGK, as well as Dennis the Menace. But I mean, yeah, this is a great move. Definitely, like, yeah, good bear flag. Like, it was a little iffy at first, but once we had like this move up and then we kind of slapped back down off the EMAs, got below this candle, it's almost like a no-brainer. But yeah, the ideal entry would have been
submitted.
34, right, when we broke the low of that candle. So that would have got us an extra like 5 points.
Order canceled.
So it would have been nice, but yeah, exactly. Once you like get confidence back and see things more clear, it's going to be a lot better, react faster and everything. There's a good entry. Yeah, it's probably it's still a decent entry. But I might have preferred just a little bit better of an entry if I was like really on top of it. But that's just me being a little picky with my trades. It's like an artist when they're really like critical of their own trades not trades, their own art pieces. When you get those engulfing, that's when my ears perk up and grabs my attention. LOL. Yeah, yeah. No, yeah, because this was like both kind of engulfing, but also just like it engulfed this candle. Obviously, like I didn't wait for the close, because if you wait for the close on this, you're probably going to miss the flag. But I mean, you start to engulf this, start taking out these lows pretty quickly with like the flags. Yeah, engulfing flag break with follow through. And that's usually kind of what I look for with flags is... I think I took another one earlier today. For like, yeah, this one. But yeah, we kind of just went up here. Just kind of engulfed right through here. They got my kind of clean entry off the break of this previous candle once we engulfed it. And then follow through, yeah. So yeah, I just need to dial in those trades and kind of take a couple good ones and be good for the day. Then I'll be chilling. But yeah, literally my strat to the T. I mean, yeah, support from the 1 minute, 15 minute, even 5 minute a little bit. Engulf, follow through. Yeah, great move. Hopefully all first quarter is like this. For real. First quarter last year was really good to me as well. January through April. Nice, nice. Yeah, I mean, hopefully. Kind of consistent. Like, it could be kind of just a yearly shift of kind of like how price action works and stuff. Like, new year, people are trading a certain way. Or no, it's typically summers are pretty slow compared to the rest of the year. Same with like December. But I mean, yeah, like a day like today, it's like I caught a bull flag earlier. Way earlier. Yeah, bull flag up here. And then I could have caught in like probably this bear flag right here if I was kind of watching that better. Same with maybe even somewhere kind of up here, found something. And then this one here, kind of. I mean, yeah, this one for like extra confirmation. Oh no. AI it does that. Okay, we're back. But me, I got the engulfing, and then you have the bear flag, and then you could have had the extra confirmation once the bear flag kind of plays out, like at, you know, 13 or something, get like a little bit better of an entry, avoid some of the chop, and then make the move down. And then, yeah, this move right here is great. So, yeah, moves up, moves down. Pretty, can't really complain. And it definitely is kind of what I'm more used to. But the emails did work quite well when they did work. Definitely a little sad to see it just like not work anymore, but and it looks like, I mean, even like trades like this, it's like comes down to the 15. You buy somewhere in here and you watch it go up. I mean, you probably would hit TP somewhere. I don't think it's completely like a terrible strategy, but it definitely might not be as glamorous as it was during kind of the last half of December. December usually is pretty trash, but I kind of did a little bit better in December. At least the second half. First half was like a little slow with a couple good days, but then the second half, 15th through the 30th, kind of popped off. Weird how that works. Yeah, sounds like you didn't do too bad either. A couple payouts and stuff. Definitely can't be upset about that. I mean, that's what it's all about. I feel you're wanting to get the other 100. It is tempting and it's definitely possible. But at the same time, I mean, we definitely need like a good setup. And even then, like after a couple good winning trades, like we got this one, we got this one, we got, you know, I do trust future setups a little less. One, because I want to protect my profits, but two, just like law of probability. You know, you have 2-3 winning trades in a row. The chances of the fourth being a losing trade are a lot higher because that's just kind of law of probability. And in trading, there is a lot of statistics and probability to it because not every good setup is going to win. But there's also truth to what you just said where when you're hot, go with the flow. So it is tough. It's like if you're winning, why not keep winning? But also, with every winning trade, the next trade has a higher chance of being a losing trade. Because eventually, like, you're going to lose the trade. But I do agree with what you're saying also. So it is kind of hard to kind of find the balance between the two. Because yeah, if you see things clearly and you're kind of just like on fire, you know, got the adrenaline and everything. It's like, why wouldn't you keep trading? So that might be something I gotta kind of work on. Because I do typically like to see like a couple wins and then I'm good. Like I'm out. I lock in my wins. But then sometimes it is hard because on like a losing day, I usually don't stop after 1 or 2 losses. I'll keep going to try and kind of make it back. So then my red days are typically bigger than my green days. I just gotta, I don't want to be too greedy. Nice, nice. Good discipline for sure. If I have enough profit, I'll stop even if on fire. Yeah, and that's also good. Like if you're in the green, you know, you're at that point where it's like I just don't need more money. Especially with most prop firms, like you definitely what's the term? My mind just totally blanked. Oh, but yeah, prop firms, consistency rules. Like most prop firms, like even like let's take Profit Trader. I can't make more than like 750 because of like the 50% rule on the eval. Decent long setup. Yeah, here's kind of a decent little move. Kind of got about above the EMA, kind of going. Might have missed it. That's fine. Definitely not like my typical setup I look for. And I didn't really see like the engulfing either, unless it is kind of a different thing, which I'm based off like what you were talking about, 65 entry, 70 conservative. I'm guessing it's a little different than the engulfing. But yeah, there's a lot of wicks. So definitely it's kind of looking like a little bit of a bottom before it makes the little move up. But I mean, this candle is kind of engulfing. I mean, you definitely could maybe look into this area, a little pullback and support. Plays out the key level of 50. That makes sense. Yeah, kind of 850, kind of supported that a couple times. Kind of double bottom with these wicks. Makes sense. Right, the 50s or like the even like 900, for example, usually pretty good levels, just like psych levels. Yeah, it kind of just is. Like I've noticed that too. Not sure why, but just kind of how it goes, I guess. I guess it makes sense, like at least with a lot of kind of like retail traders. Like maybe not so much people like us, but like if you're trading like just like the stocks, I mean like chances are like, you know, let's say like I get in a short here. I mean, you kind of have like the flags up. It's not one I'd really take because it's kind of rounding off the bottom here too much. But we still could continue the downtrend. But yeah, it's like if I go short here, obviously like if I'm scalping, it's a lot different. But if I'm like looking for like a big move, but that's still like my entry somewhere, like it's like, yeah, I could target somewhere in here, but like why not just go to 800, you know? So I think a lot of people do kind of just like, it's like, oh, I'm at 26,000 on the dot. Why not take profit, you know? I think he looks bearish. Yeah, it is looking a little bearish right now on the kind of lower time frames. Ugh, getting a little tired. Or something. What time frame is this? This is the 1 minute that you should be looking at on NQ. One more BangerTrade. I definitely could see it. I mean, see what kind of happens here. I'm kind of feeling the chop vibes here. It's not quite the best setup to like go lower for the bear flag, but we're not quite getting a good setup to go long either. It still feels a little bearish. So we might kind of come down to like 860 and just kind of chop around these lows. But we'll see. Like I said, I might stay live just a little bit longer while I kind of finish uploading this video to YouTube and TikTok in the background. But definitely planning on dipping out pretty soon to go eat some lunch. We'll see if anything happens in the meantime. Lamau, a Chinese ASMR girl, was rubbing the mic and I said kiss it and I got banned. That's funny that you got banned, but it's also funny that you would say that. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, yeah, that's that's funny. You and your Asian women. Yeah, no, you're joking for sure. But that's still funny. She literally was grasping it and rubbing it in her hand. How could I not say it? Exactly. It's not your fault. You did nothing wrong. Besides, I feel like grasping it and rubbing it is a lot more weird than a little kiss. Like, yeah, if she was like making out with the mic, I mean, that's one thing. But like a little, like, just like a little kiss. I mean, I feel like that's way less kind of inappropriate than an ASMR where you're it's like the markets. I react to a setup. Exactly. You react and you just do your thing. Like, it's at some point it's instinct, you know? Another nice kind of engulfing here. Don't know if I'm going to take it though. I am probably going to just play it safe, call it a day. Had some good trades a little bit later though. Kind of went back to my old reliable. A little unfortunate about this one though. Should have just had my stop a little wider. But hindsight's always 20/20. She was doing circular motion with her hand holding it. Lamau, I couldn't resist. Exactly. What can you do in that situation? No, that's awesome. She was fine AF too. Well, that's good. That's good. I'd hope she was. Especially if like you couldn't resist. I'm just kidding. Not a terrible long step though if you get a little pullback into this kind of 8 area, something like that. But I think I'm going to head out. Appreciate you guys tuning into the stream. The support is always appreciated, and it encourages me to keep doing it, of course. All the gifts, the followers, everything. Definitely would appreciate to see you guys again another time. Hopefully, yeah, we'll get the green tomorrow. Lock in and only take the best of setups, the best of trades, and yeah, I hope to see you guys again another time. If you haven't already, feel free to follow, subscribe, and hope to see you guys again. Have a good rest of your days. See ya.